It's one of the most quoted films in cinema history, yet almost nobody remembers it correctly. A Few Good Men feels bulletproof now, but behind the scenes, it was fragile, debated, and nearly destroyed by the very people who greenlit it. Studios panicked about boring audiences. The ending hung by a thread. And that famous line? It was never supposed to mean what you think it means. These aren't random, behind-the-scenes stories. They're battles that silently shaped everything you believe about this movie. And the first one almost killed the film's entire soul. Number 1. The climax almost got gutted. The confrontation that defines this movie nearly didn't exist. Studio executives were terrified that a lengthy dialogue-driven courtroom sequence would send audiences running for the exits. They saw it as a massive commercial liability, too talky, too slow, too much like watching a play instead of movie. Internal meetings turned heated as execs pushed for massive restructuring of the final act to eliminate what they called the risk. Rob Reiner and his team refused to budge. They understood something the suits didn't. The courtroom wasn't just a location. It was the destination every scene had been racing toward. Every character choice, every moral dilemma, every moment of tension was engineered to detonate in that single space. Strip it away, and you're left with nothing but setup and no payoff. The decision to keep it came dangerously late in production, and it was a genuine gamble that could have tanked the project. But without that room, without that face-to-face battle, there's no movie worth remembering. The thing executives were convinced would destroy the film became its immortality. Sometimes the scariest creative choice is the right one. Number 2. The antagonist was supposed to stay hidden. Colonel Jessup was originally written to never appear directly. He was meant to operate as a phantom presence, powerful precisely because he remained unreachable, unseen, felt only through the ripple effects of his commands. Early versions kept him as a symbol of institutional authority rather than a flesh and blood opponent. Then the writers recognized the problem. The story had no escalation, no collision course, just investigation leading to more investigation. Putting Jessup on that witness stand changed everything about the film's DNA. It stopped being a detective story and became a gladiator match fought with words instead of weapons. This structural pivot gave the movie its spine. The abstract villain became concrete and vulnerable. The untouchable became touchable. Two men, two philosophies, locked in the same room with nowhere to hide. That's not polish. That's fundamental architecture. The confrontation exists because someone realized absence creates mystery, but not catharsis. Number 3. The iconic line was written to unsettle you. You can't handle the truth became a cultural phenomenon, plastered on merchandise and quoted at parties. But it was never written as a heroic statement or the film's thesis. It was designed to expose something genuinely disturbing about Jessup's worldview, his absolute conviction that regular people are too soft to comprehend what real protection demands. The goal was discomfort, not applause. Audiences were meant to feel the chill of a man who genuinely believes his brutality is righteousness. He's not playing villain or cackling with evil intent. He's expressing what he considers a painful but noble truth about how the world actually works. But crowds heard it differently. They turned a moment meant to provoke thought into a punchline. What was crafted as an uncomfortable examination of moral certainty became a slogan emptied of its weight. The film's real message, that truth is messy, complicated, and rarely satisfying, got buried under the cheering. The line succeeded too well at being quotable and failed at being understood. Number 4. The lead was considered too charismatic. Tom Cruise was box office gold by this point, but that stardom created an unexpected obstacle. Executives worried that his natural magnetism would sabotage the character. Daniel Coffey needed to start as someone audiences didn't particularly respect, a slick lawyer skating by on talent while dodging anything resembling actual courage. The fear was simple. Cruise makes people root for him automatically. If audiences loved Coffey from frame 1, his journey from coward to hero loses all meaning. The tension between his abilities and his character flaws was the entire point. Make him too appealing too soon, and the transformation collapses. This role quietly reshaped how Hollywood saw Cruise. By deliberately playing against his established persona and earning respect gradually through performance rather than presence, he proved he could carry drama built on language instead of spectacle. It opened creative doors that pure action roles never could. Number 5. The ending almost went darker. Earlier screenplay versions flirted with something far less clean. Drafts existed where the conclusion didn't tie up neatly, where moral victory felt uncertain and consequences remained blurry. Creatively, this ambiguity was compelling because it honored the film's uncomfortable themes more honestly than resolution could. The case for keeping it murky was strong. Actual justice rarely delivers satisfaction. If the story was genuinely interrogating the cost of challenging authority and the limits of truth-telling, shouldn't the finale reflect that messiness instead of smoothing it over? But clarity won. The final version still carries weight, but it lands more decisively than earlier drafts dared. This choice fundamentally altered the film statement, trading philosophical discomfort for emotional payoff. Audiences got catharsis, while the darker implications got quietly shelved. Number 6. The Courtroom is smoke and mirrors. That imposing courtroom that feels so real was never fully built. Production designers constructed only what cameras needed to capture, using partial sets, clever angles, and precise staging to fabricate the impression of a complete, intimidating space. Every shot was calculated to control perception, transforming budget restrictions into storytelling weapons most viewers never detect. This wasn't just about saving money. The incomplete environment actually enhanced control over tension. By dictating sightlines and forcing specific framings, filmmakers could emphasize character psychology in ways a real courtroom wouldn't permit. The camera became a tool for applying pressure, not just recording events. The physical space served the verbal combat rather than competing with it. Walls that didn't exist, corners that stayed hidden, blocking that kept focus razor-tight. All of it amplified the words being exchanged. Audiences feel the institutional weight without realizing how much of it is carefully engineered emptiness designed to intensify every moment. Number 7. Accuracy serves story, not vice versa. Military realism in this film was strategic, never absolute. Advisors were consulted extensively to ensure uniforms, language, and behavior felt legitimate. But the filmmakers never sacrificed clarity for procedural perfection. When protocol clashed with storytelling, protocol lost every single time. The priority was always emotional authenticity over technical documentation. Advisors helped create believable foundations while accepting deliberate departures where necessary. Procedures got simplified, ranks adjusted, moments heightened beyond what actual military courts allow. The target was credibility, not recreation. This selective approach meant realism enhanced drama instead of strangling it. The film feels grounded in military culture without becoming an instruction manual. That balance allowed big moments to hit with maximum force while maintaining enough authenticity to keep skeptical viewers invested. Accuracy was a servant, never a master. Number 8. The Marines were told to be furniture. Background Marines received unusual instructions. They weren't asked to act naturally or add character to their presence. They were told to eliminate emotion completely. Rigidity was the assignment. Restraint mattered more than naturalism because the production wanted bodies that reinforced themes rather than distracted from them. They needed to be felt, not noticed. This wasn't accidental, it was deeply thematic. The film examines obedience, institutional pressure, and the human cost of unquestioning compliance. Having extras stand motionless and blank-faced visualized those concepts without requiring dialogue. Their presence became constant evidence of the system being put on trial. The result was atmosphere thick with institutional power that saturates every courtroom moment. Those frozen figures weren't decoration. They were silent arguments, living proof of the culture under examination. By removing performance from the background, the filmmakers ensured that only characters willing to break from the machine earned individuality and voice.